Welcome back to Smart Life. I am Dr. Gina. It is now time for one of my favorite, but at the same time, sort of least favorite parts of the show. Joe Messina here with us, and he scours the deepest, darkest crevices for stories you will hear nowhere else. And he is here to shock and disturb us today. Joe, welcome back to the show.
So I'm kind of like the Mike Rowe of social media stories, huh?
Or the freak show of news, whichever way you'd like to look at it, Joe. I'm open.
I feel so much better now. Thank you.
I'm here for you like that. Okay, so tell me about this. It's not a truffle, it's a truple. So it's much less chocolatey and much more disturbing. A truple. Do tell.
Oh, yeah. You know, when I first read this story, I said, this is impossible. This is just a funny thing or something. But then as I looked into it, a truple in Massachusetts got married. 3 lesbian women legally got married in the state of Massachusetts, okay? Yeah, I said 3.
You're just a homophobe, Joe.
Yeah. Well, try. You know what? Take a number, Dr. Gina. There's so many in front of you already.
Get in line,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but this is my home state of Massachusetts. They just keep getting worse and worse and worse there. But let's forget that they're lesbian women.
You might want to stop referring to it as your home state. It's just a thought for you. Just a little tip. You know, and you didn't even have to hire me to be your psychological consultant for me to give you that free advice.
Then I'll need real help then, because I'm kind of like a guy without a home state, right?
Well, yeah, crazy California is probably not the answer either. Anyway, continue.
All right, so we have these 3 women that decide to get married. Let's say woman A, woman B, and woman C, right? They're all going to have children. And now, what happens when woman A no longer is in love with woman C, but she's still in love with woman B, but B loves A and C, and A doesn't want to live with the woman in the house? Can you see where this is going?
Yeah, that you have to learn algebra, so then we'll need Common Core, because none of this makes any sense in a formula style of reason. And what happens then when they get divorced and there's a custody battle? How's that going to go?
Oh, can you listen? You've seen the ramifications of what happens now when a couple gets divorced, and you've got a male and a female, and then you've got a couple of kids involved, and who gets what weekend and how and when. Can you imagine with 3 of them? How do you divide that up? And let's get real ridiculous. What happens when you get to 6 and 7 and 8? Because who says they're going to stop at 3, right? If you can't tell me how many to love. Remember, we couldn't tell them who to love. Now we can't tell them how many to love.
Now, I just harken back to a day, Joe. I happen to remember when I went on ABC's Wife Swap, and I made the huge error of saying that this kind of demeans marriage, this polygamist family that I was paired with. And I remember, and I was a horrible, homophobic, racist, bigot, who knows what all, xenophobic person for pointing out that when you remove the original definition of marriage, you might run into some complications. And then I got letters. The interesting part is I got letters from gay couples saying, how dare I compare them to polygamists, which, by the way, I wasn't doing. That's what the polygamist was doing. But then I also got letters from a polygamist saying, yeah, we're planning on riding those coattails of gay marriage. That was the plan from the beginning. It was never about gay marriage. It was always about an agenda that said there's essentially no sacred definition of marriage in our culture anymore, because that's really the direction we're headed when you think about 3 people getting married, and God knows who's going to be advocating under the new gay marriage laws next, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, Justice Scalia said it. He felt that this was a real slippery slope that we were going down, because we were now redefining what marriage was all about, and where was it going to stop? These are his words, not mine, so throw your stones at him. Was it going to stop at bigamy or same-sex marriage, adult incense, prostitution, bestiality? He said, where do we draw the line here? All right, and then on top of all of this, you've got one of the women who got married. She was in, I think it was in Australia, and she did an interview. Marsha Gessen, she's one of the lesbian activists. Those are her words, too. She stated that same-sex marriage is a lie, and fighting for gay marriage generally involves lying about what we're going to do with marriage when we get there. It's a no-brainer, she said. I mean, think about this.
Yeah, we live in California. People in California, we all have good gay friends and neighbors. And most of them, if you speak with them, they didn't want this from the beginning because they saw this coming. There has been a victory, though. This is interesting. The Supreme Court has said that you can have opening prayers at council meetings, that they are indeed constitutional. This seems completely out of the framework of the way most news today is going. Joe, tell us.
Did you hear a whole bunch of heads popping this morning?
Right, exactly.
all these liberal eyeballs, and it just was amazing. And the Supreme Court upheld the right of local officials to open town council meetings with prayer. Oh my God, we can't have this.
I know.
But what they've said, now think about this. This was a 5-4 decision. I mean, isn't that amazing? Right down the line. And it was an issue in a town of Greece, New York, right outside of Rochester. And they were having, I think for 11 years, they were allowing prayer before the actual council meeting started. Now, what they're saying is that, look, nobody really wanted to pray, and since it's mostly a Christian community, remember the representative government thing that everybody forgets about?
Right.
So the people praying were praying in a Christian manner. They said they would never stop, well, I don't know if an atheist can pray, but they'd never stop an imam or a Jewish person or any of those from coming in and praying before, but nobody offered to. So they have to the only thing is that they have to make a reasonable attempt to reach out and get another group in. Now, you know that the Freedom from Religion Foundation, I get that wrong all the time, they've come unglued with this and said, this is a dark day in history for America. Thinking, no, the dark day in history was back in the 60s when they took prayer out of school to begin with.
Well, then those with the same acronym are probably celebrating greatly because the high school under fire for students' removal of "under God" from the Pledge of Allegiance promptly replaced it. Now, I want people to let this sink in for a moment. One nation under peace. That must be for the purpose of intimidating Putin, maybe. What do you think?
One nation under peace. We are a nation at peace. Are we serious? I mean, what are they?
Wow.
What's in their Kool-Aid? I want to taste their Kool-Aid that they're giving those kids for lunch. The beauty I love about this is that the principal there has basically said, I didn't know they were going to do this. Okay, they did this all on their own, and we encourage our young people to express themselves. Well, listen, they can express themselves with crayons. They can express themselves with paint. You know what I'm saying? They can express themselves on the computer or wherever else they want to do that. But we're talking about the Pledge of Allegiance. We're talking about a pledge that these words have been approved by the Congress of these United States. And I just don't understand why the left feels such a need to keep poking away at this, unless, of course, because they won't admit this. They don't want anything to do with God, right? When you ask them, they go, no, that's not it at all. We just want a freedom to be able to do what we want to do, except for us. We can't have a freedom to do what we want to do.
But the thing is, there's so much proof out there, Joe. In Houston Elementary School recently, a parent reported their child's teacher confiscated their Bible during read to myself time in class. So now you can read anything else. You can read the smut that's out there. I remember we were reading Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which is like one of the most worthless things you could ever read, and we read it in school. But you cannot read your Bible. I wonder if the Quran would have been confiscated.
You know what? I got to say no. I just the hate for the Judeo-Christian system is just amazing to me. And what they don't realize is the Judeo-Christian system that gave them the right to do some of the things that they're doing. And this is a read to yourself. My God, here's a young child that enjoys reading their Bible, doesn't feel like they're being forced to do it, and they're being told now that you can't do that. And think about this. How many kids want to open up a book and read it, especially a book with that many words? It's they claim to be educators, but they're really the only education they want to give them is that far left, let me take away your rights kind of education. And I'm so glad the parents spoke up here. We need to get them more support.
Yeah, we absolutely do. As we kind of watch our culture fall this way, one author called it slouching toward Gomorrah. I remember that, and it's always stuck in my head. I can't remember who that was. Maybe you remember. But what can just regular people do about this, Joe? I mean, really, it really is so, it's coming at us so quickly. I've had you on my show for years now, and you've always brought these little stories. We're not reading about this on the cover of USA Today. It's certainly not going to be covered
No.
by the Alphabet News lamestream media. So how can people be aware of this? And also, what can we really do about it?
Well, look, most people don't just end up at Congress, right? I mean, I don't wake up on Tuesday morning, decide to run, and I'm there. You've been working in the community. You've been doing things like that. I tell people all the time, get off your butts, get away from the TV set, put the channel changer down, go to your local school board meeting, go to your local city council meeting, pick one. You don't have to do them all. Just pick one. Get engaged, get involved, and don't let these boneheads in the office. That's what's going to change this. Not us sitting back and complaining. You've got to engage, and that's where we miss it big time.
And very quickly, because we honestly don't have a lot of time left at all. In fact, just about a couple of seconds. But I just wanted to ask you this. If for people who really want to get more of these stories, where can they find them?
Oh, you know where they can find them, on therealside.com. They're
Side,
all over my website.
Realside.com. And I got to give it to you, Joe. You take the hate bullets. I'll tell you what, he sometimes will forward to me the hate conversations that occur. This man's out there being a real warrior, just trying to speak the truth as he sees it. I don't know what happened to tolerance, but apparently Joe isn't worthy of any.